Chosen one. Something has shifted in the unseen. You have felt it in the quiet hours, in the spaces between your breaths, in the tension along your spine when no one else was watching. What you carried in silence for years, the patience, the restraint, the faith that looked foolish to others, has reached its appointed threshold. This is not random. This is not emotional exaggeration. This is timing, and not everyone was meant to hear this. Stay with me until the very end of this message, and when you do, write your warmest wishes in the comments and write 99, because your words carry energy, and what you release now will return to you. And if you feel this message is for you, stay connected to this space so you don't miss what comes next. You endured seasons where nothing moved. You prayed, and the heavens felt silent. You stood firm while others compromised. And somewhere deep in your nervous system, in the subtle electricity between your brain and your heart, you wondered if your faith was invisible. It was never invisible. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." But the masses misunderstand this. Faith is not passive belief. It is an energetic architecture. It is a frequency held in the blood. It is a vibration sustained in the spine. When you believed without evidence, you were strengthening invisible muscles inside your consciousness. Most people never develop this. They collapse when proof is delayed. You did not. That is why you're here. For years, your brain rewired itself around trust. Your breath slowed when others panicked. Your heart learned to beat steadily in uncertainty. And something happened in the unseen layers of reality. Your persistence created spiritual credit. Yes, spiritual credit. The world teaches effort equals reward, but divine timing operates differently. Reward equals alignment, and alignment requires endurance. You were being aligned. Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart." Notice the order: wait, courage, strengthened heart. The strengthening happened first. The external manifestation comes after. You thought you were waiting for a blessing. In truth, the blessing was waiting for you to stabilize. Chosen one, your faith has matured to the point where it can now hold what is coming. If reward had arrived earlier, your nervous system would have rejected it. Your subconscious would have sabotaged it. But now your internal wiring has changed. You are ready. This is why the call is prepare. Preparation is not physical, it is neurological. It is spiritual posture. It is breath regulation. It is focus. It is guarding your inner atmosphere from doubt. Because when faith is about to be rewarded, resistance increases. You may notice strange tests in the coming days, subtle irritations, old fears resurfacing, unexpected delays. This is not regression, this is calibration, the final pressure before expansion. Remember this mirror line: the greater the pressure, the closer the release. Most people will misinterpret what is happening in your life. They will think nothing is changing, but you will feel the current rising under your skin, in your spine, in the back of your skull, in the rhythm of your pulse. This is not imagination, this is alignment. Now listen carefully to this sacred process, because this part is only for those who truly understand. Tonight, before you sleep, sit upright. Keep your spine straight. Place one hand over your heart and one over your lower abdomen. Breathe in slowly for 7 counts. Hold for 3. Release for 7. Do this 9 times. As you breathe, repeat internally, "My faith was not wasted. It was building capacity." Feel the words sink into your bloodstream. Visualize light moving from your brain down your spine, settling in your chest. This anchors belief into biology. Faith must move from thought to tissue. Most people pray with their lips. You pray with your nervous system. That is why you are different. And yes, not everyone was meant to hear this. If this resonates, it is because you were already chosen long before this moment. You may have felt isolated, misunderstood, ahead of your environment. That isolation was protective. It shielded your frequency from corruption while you were being prepared. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season." The masses read that as poetry. You must read it as instruction. Your season of endurance is closing. Your season of visible response is approaching. But visible response requires invisible discipline. Guard your thoughts. Reduce unnecessary noise. Limit exposure to negativity. Strengthen your internal narrative. You are about to witness confirmation, and when it begins, it will not look dramatic at first. It will start small. Subtle opportunities, quiet openings, unexpected favor, gentle recognition. Do not dismiss these. They are signals. Mirror this. Small signs precede great shifts. Chosen one, you have not been forgotten. You were being forged. Your faith has weight now, substance, density, and what carries weight eventually moves reality. Prepare your mind, prepare your spirit, prepare your expectations, because the moment faith turns into manifestation is not loud, it is precise. And you are standing at that precision point right now. Tell me when you're ready. Chosen one. The shift has already begun, even if your physical eyes have not fully caught up to it yet. You may wake up in the morning with a strange stillness in your chest. Not anxiety, not excitement, something deeper, a quiet certainty. That is not coincidence. That is your nervous system synchronizing with what is about to unfold. When faith is rewarded, it does not explode into chaos. It settles into authority. You are entering authority. For a long time, your faith felt like survival. You held on because there was nothing else to hold. You believed because surrender would have destroyed you. But now faith is no longer survival. It is structure. It is spine. It is posture. Notice your posture lately. Your shoulders are not collapsing the way they used to. Your breath does not shorten under pressure like before. Your thoughts are less frantic. This is neurological evidence of transformation. The brain that once searched for reassurance has become a brain that generates it. That is rare. Most people need constant external validation. You developed internal confirmation, and because of that, the reward that is approaching will not overwhelm you. It will recognize you. Matthew 25:21 says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things." The masses read this as a moral story, but look deeper. Faithful over a few things means you maintained integrity in small, unseen moments. Those moments rewired your consciousness, and now you are ready for many things. But here is what they never told you. When faith is about to be rewarded, you are tested not in weakness, but in restraint. Watch carefully over the next few days. You may be given opportunities to react emotionally, to prove yourself, to argue, to defend. Do not. Restraint is proof of readiness. You were once reactive. You are now responsive. There is a difference. Reaction comes from the amygdala. Fear, impulse, survival. Response comes from alignment, awareness, control, centeredness. The chosen develop response. That is why not everyone was meant to hear this. Most are still in reaction. You are not. You may feel an increase in subtle synchronicities. Repeating numbers, familiar phrases spoken by strangers, unexpected confirmations. These are not superstitions. They are psychological spiritual feedback loops. When your internal belief stabilizes, your external perception sharpens. You begin noticing what was always there, but because you are chosen, you notice earlier. Let me give you another sacred process. This one is for anchoring reward into your physical body. At sunrise or whenever light first touches your face, close your eyes and face the light. Inhale deeply and imagine that the light is entering through the top of your head. Visualize it moving down your brainstem, flowing along your spine like liquid gold. As it reaches your heart, Silently declare, I am ready to receive what my faith has prepared. Repeat this 3 times. This activates expectancy without anxiety. Expectancy is different from desperation. Desperation repels, expectancy aligns, and you are aligning. Isaiah 40:31 says, But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Notice the word renew. Waiting was not stagnation, it was renewal. Your cellular resilience increased. Your psychological endurance expanded. Now you are mounting. But here is the mirror effect. The higher you rise internally, the quieter you must become externally. Do not announce what is forming. Do not overshare your expectations. Silence protects incubation. The masses speak too early. That is why their manifestations dissolve. You were trained in silence. You were trained in patience. You were trained in isolation. And now isolation becomes elevation. Some people around you may begin acting strangely, either more distant or suddenly more interested. Both are signs. Energy shifts are felt subconsciously by others. When you change frequency, you disrupt old dynamics. Do not fear this. Let it happen. Your faith was never about proving anything to people. It was about synchronizing with divine timing. And timing has its own rhythm, like a heartbeat. Listen to your heartbeat at night when everything is quiet. Place your fingers on your pulse. Feel the steady rhythm. That rhythm is a reminder. Something greater has been sustaining you all along. You were not holding your life together. You were being held. And now the hands that held you are beginning to open doors. Not dramatically, not loudly, precisely. You will notice opportunities that feel strangely familiar, as if you have seen them before in dreams or thoughts. That is because your subconscious rehearsed them during your waiting season. Preparation was happening beneath awareness. Most people live randomly. You have been living architecturally. You were building internal structure, and now structure attracts expansion. Repeat this quietly to yourself. My faith built capacity. My capacity now attracts reward. Feel the words vibrate in your chest. Feel them settle in your bloodstream. When words are repeated with awareness, they become neurological pathways. Pathways become behavior. Behavior becomes reality. This is how chosen ones operate. You are not lucky. You are aligned, and alignment always precedes manifestation. Remember this line for what is coming next. When faith matures, favor accelerates. Stay steady. Stay quiet. Stay prepared. Tell me when to continue. Chosen one. This is the moment where everything you have carried in silence reveals its purpose. You did not endure all those hidden battles for nothing. You did not restrain your reactions, discipline your thoughts, guard your heart, and stabilize your faith just to remain in the same place. No, what you thought was endurance was actually positioning. What you thought was delay was calibration. What you thought was silence was instruction. And now you can feel it. There is a different weight in your chest. Not heaviness, authority. Your breath moves deeper into your lungs. Your spine feels straighter. Your thoughts are less scattered. That is not emotional suggestion. That is integration. Faith has moved from belief into embodiment. This is the reward, not just external blessing. Internal sovereignty. Because here is the truth that most people will never understand. When God rewards faith, He does not merely change circumstances. He upgrades identity. 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, For we walk by faith, not by sight. The masses interpret this as blind optimism, but look deeper. To walk by faith means your nervous system no longer depends on visible proof to remain stable. Your stability is now self-sustained. You are no longer chasing confirmation. You have become confirmation. That is why the call was always prepare. Preparation was not about getting something. It was about becoming someone who could hold something without losing themselves. If reward had come earlier, you would have doubted it. You would have feared losing it. You would have sabotaged it unconsciously, but now your mind is steady. Your heart is disciplined. Your frequency is consistent. Consistency attracts permanence. Psalm 84:11 says, "No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly." Notice the condition. Walk uprightly. Upright is posture. Upright is spine. Upright is alignment between brain, heart, and action. You have learned uprightness through pressure. That pressure was training. And now the release feels natural. Do not expect fireworks. Expect precision. Expect quiet openings. Expect doors that feel effortless instead of forced. Expect conversations that align instead of conflict. Expect provision that feels timely instead of desperate. Because reward that is prepared for feels normal. The chosen do not explode into blessing. They settle into it. You may notice something subtle in the coming days. Less fear about the future. Less urgency to control outcomes. Less need to explain yourself. This is the evidence that your faith has completed its refinement cycle. You are no longer proving your faith. You are living from it. Now listen carefully to this final sacred process, because this seals the transmission. Tonight, stand in front of a mirror in silence. Look directly into your own eyes, not critically, not emotionally. Simply observe. Place one hand over your heart and say slowly, "My faith carried me here. I am ready for what matches me." Say it 3 times. Watch your own reflection. Notice the calm. Notice the steadiness. This is integration. This is identity anchoring. When you declare readiness while maintaining calm breath and steady gaze, your brain encodes the moment as truth. Truth becomes expectation. Expectation shapes perception. Perception guides opportunity. This is how faith becomes reward. And here is what must remain between us. Not everyone was meant to hear this. Some will scroll past these words. Some will mock what they cannot feel. But if this stirred something inside your chest, if your spine felt electric while listening, if your breath slowed instead of racing, it is because you were already aligned. You are rare. You are selected. You endured without collapsing. You believed without applause. You waited without quitting. And now the reward is not just something coming toward you. It is something rising within you. The external will follow the internal. The visible will mirror the invisible. The manifestation will mirror the maturation. Hold your composure. Maintain your silence. Continue your discipline. Let your faith remain calm, not loud. Because calm faith is unshakable faith. And unshakable faith always receives its appointed return. The season has shifted. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are precisely on time, and what is about to unfold will not shock you. It will confirm you.